short for me today.
YouTube is already live.
Excellent.
Your business.
Thank you so much. All good. All good. Yeah.
Hopefully not too many questions and answers. Like I can feel something's coming on. It's like, oh. Yeah.
How are you? She's doing something else.
Yeah.
She's got grandkids coming in that she doesn't get to see very often. She thinks it's fun.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice because I'm actually not quite so nervous to chat with talk, which is usually like when your big stress is talking in front of.
That's when I kind of I don't know if it's true or not. He took me from the council before he leaves. He goes and pitches Supreme Court. He won't be able to get there regularly. Oh, I doubt he gets to St. Louis. I think he'll probably be up in the balcony. It's just I learned that Sonia has a bunch of siblings. Yeah, I didn't know that. I think she's the second to birth order. I guess that they put their first initials together. It says I guess it does. I go after her. No, why not? But yes, well, I know, but she's the second birth order. Then they decided that's what they wanted to do. Well, I'm glad my mom didn't do that more. Well, we'd already talked about that. We'd have a lot of M's and E's, O's, T's. He would know. He knows all things. What they do? Well, they tell them today.
Okay, welcome. This is, you told me you were ready.
Okay, now we're good.
Welcome, it's November 26th, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the public meeting of the Board of Uintah County Commissioners. We'll start with a prayer by Sherry Bolton, followed by Monica Hill with the pledge.
Such that would benefit the
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, ladies. Appreciate it. All right. Approval of the minutes for October 28th, 24 work session, November 18th, 2024 work session, and November 19th meeting.
I had a few corrections that I gave to Ty, and so other than that, I would make a motion that we approve the minutes as stated. They were just grammatical.
Okay. Have a motion? Any discussion? No. I don't know where I went. Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Marjorie, report of warrants.
Margie Shaw at the Clerk-Auditor's office. I have the warrants for November 20th, 2024 for the amount of $277,995.69, and it was just regular payments.
Okay.
No claims?
No claims.
No claims? Any tax matters?
No, I don't.
Okay, no tax matters today. Uintah County Library closures. Karen?
Karen England, Library Director, Uintah County Library. I would like to propose that the library be closed, full-day closures December 26th, 27th, and 28th for closed from the public to do library inventory, a deep clean, and a collection shift. We will be able to get all of this done without that having to deal with the public aspect in that time, and then we can reopen on December 30th for normal hours. I would also ask that the library be closed early for December 11th so that library staff can attend the county Christmas party, be closed early the 24th and December 24th and December 31st so that we can be home with family. And then a list of holiday and non-holiday closures for 2025, which include all the major holidays and 2 staff development days for January 13th and May 5th. And then depending on public reaction to this closure in December, we may revisit that again in 2025.
Okay. And this has gone before the library board?
Yes, it's been approved by the library board.
Okay.
We need to make a motion
Need a
to
motion.
approve this closure. Is that right, John?
Technically, no, because it's administrative action. But I mean, I appreciate having it in a public setting so people are more aware of it. But we are able to administratively do those types of things. If the commission would like to get that on the record, you're free to do that, or it can just be consensus and feel free to proceed.
Okay. And I would also like to ask Travis if you would please send out a public information announcement to everybody on Facebook and on our website about that, if you could, please, about the closure. Okay.
Thank you. Is that all?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think we're good.
Madi? Buckskin Hills contracts.
Madi, Maynard, Tourism and Events. We recently met with the attorney's office to go over our booking agreements and our contracts for Buckskin Hills to make sure we were all up to par moving forward for our summer bookings coming up. And our biggest notable change, really the only change that wasn't grammatical, was the change of insurance requirement. And that puts us in accordance with the Utah code. So that gets us to the $1 million per occurrence and $3.5 million general aggregate. I did also want to note that we did make that adjustment in the policy to make the checks payable to Uintah County as recommended. Any questions?
Okay,
Nope.
I think we're good. Thank you.
Yeah. And all of the people that usually have these contracts, are they being notified, or they have been notified of the changes?
Yes, so we haven't actually signed any contracts for the 2025 summer, so we were getting this all squared away so we can start signing those with them.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Do we need a motion to change that, probably?
Yes, it'd be a motion to approve the forms as presented, and then that allows travel and tourism to enter into these contracts without having to bring them back. If there's modifications to those contracts, they would still need to bring them back to a commission meeting.
All right, so I'll call for a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the contracts as were presented yesterday in the work session and now represented today, with the 1 million, is that liability, or what do you call the 1 million?
Yes, it's 1 million per occurrence,
Per
but it's the
occurrence.
liability insurance, yeah.
Okay, and then the 3.5 million aggregate as presented.
Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Thank you. Sheriff?
Sheriff Labrum. So I'm presenting the United States Marshal Service Fugitive Task Force Memorandum of Understanding for Non-Federal Agencies. This MOU just cross-deputizes a few of my deputies to work with the marshals to apprehend violent fugitives. So this needs my signature and the U.S. Marshal's signature, and the effective date is when I sign it, and then we have 30 days to get out of the MOU.
And it's the same you said as in
Yeah,
previous
so they've
years?
changed a little bit in the body camera. The federal agencies have changed their body camera policies, and that's, I mean, there's not a lot of other changes to it, and I don't know how much we're getting yet. They haven't told us, so.
Okay. This
When I
basically
know, I guess
reimbursement.
you'll know.
And it's reimbursement for wages, travel, things like that.
Yeah, wages.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we approve the U.S. Marshals VFAST MOU as has been presented by Sheriff Labrum with the signatures.
Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Mr. Hardman.
Scott Hardman, Uintah County Road Department. Got a road maintenance agreement to present to you for signatures. Normally on our road maintenance agreements, they're taken care of by myself and one commissioner, but this is an agreement with TRANSWEST Express to put a transmission line across Uintah County. It's approximately 50 miles. So they'll be crossing several Class D roads, so a little more in depth. So John wanted me to bring this to commission and get signatures. John has also looked over the agreement, and there's also maps and details attached.
And from the work session yesterday, nothing has changed in the agreement, so it's here for approval.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I
Call
would
for a motion.
make that motion that we approve the TRANSWEST Road Use Agreement as presented yesterday and today.
Any discussion? Comments? Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you, sir.
Hi, Deanna Nyberg with Community Development. Oh, sorry, do I need to let you announce what this is? I just jumped ahead.
You're fine. No, you're
Okay,
fine.
I'll say what it is then.
You're doing great.
Okay, so we have an affidavit here for acceptance of roads within the Basin Acres subdivision. The roads are 2000 South, which comes directly off of Vernal Avenue, and then 1940 South, which goes through Bryn Meadows and then connects to the new Basin Acres subdivision. These roads have been approved by the Fire Marshal and the Roads Department. We've contacted the utilities, and only one came back with a minor issue that's being taken care of with the developer right now, Ashley Valley water and sewer had a water main valve that they feel like might have been paved over. So they're looking into that and taking care of that. And we are just looking for a vote to accept these as Class B roads.
And these are all completed
Yes.
as per the diagram and plot maps and all that
Right.
stuff? Okay. Call for a motion?
I would make a motion that we accept the Basin Acres subdivision roads as have been presented.
And I will call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes. Number 10, Matt.
All right, Matt Kazir with Community Development as well. First thing we've got here is DINGELL ACT, Emery County Land Exchange, waiver of the 60-day notice and consent to the BLM and State of Utah, completing the exchange upon the conclusion of the 45-day protest period. We went over this quite extensively yesterday in the work session. Are there any additional questions with regard to this item? Do you want me to do more explaining on it again today, or?
I thought you did well yesterday, just a quick summary of what it is.
Okay.
Would be great, would be nice.
Yeah, so with the DINGELL Act, and this this affects almost a lot of the counties throughout the state of Utah. But when the DINGELL Act was passed, there were several areas within Uintah County. Well, there were two areas within Uintah County that were set apart for different purposes. So we have the John Wesley Powell Conservation Management Area or something, whatever. National Conservation Area, sorry. And then we have the McCoy Flats mountain biking area. And within those two areas, there were certain sections of SITLA property, State Institutional Trust Lands Administration property. And so part of the DINGELL Act was to trade those out to other areas. So BLM and the State of Utah Trust Lands Administration, they've been working together to figure out how they're going to trade these things out. In our county, we're going to have a net gain of BLM ground. So I think there's a couple of parcels that are going from BLM to SITLA. From what I recall, there's smaller parcels, and then SITLA's trading out for BLM ground in other counties throughout the state. So, and then there's other areas throughout the state that the same thing. There were designated areas, and BLM and SITLA are trading out of the properties. And so, all this is doing is we reviewed the exchanges they're making back in 2021, I believe, is what I had said yesterday. And this is just waiving the 60-day notice period after the 45-day protest period is over. And from what I understand in the letter here, I'm guessing all the counties that are involved would have to sign this in order for it to happen. So, so that's where we're at. We have a signature. I guess it would be the chair. Is all we need on it. So.
Okay, call for a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the DINGELL Act Emery County Land Exchange with the waiver of the 60-day notice and consent to the BLM and the State of Utah, completing the exchange upon the conclusion of the 45-day protest period.
Any discussion? Okay, call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Okay, resolution number 11-25-2024R1.
All right, so this is amendments to the Uintah County Trails Master Plan, adding language for vertical trails and making changes for updating the priority lists. Again, we went over this yesterday quite extensively. Let's see, this has been recommended by the Dino Trails Committee. It also went before the Planning Commission at a public hearing. It was noticed for a public hearing in October with the Planning Commission. We didn't quite have the language done at that time with all the maps and everything that we needed, so they didn't discuss it at that meeting. They just tabled it, and then they noticed it for the November Planning Commission meeting as a public hearing. At that meeting, there were no public comments made, and the Planning Commission closed the public hearing, and they recommended approval of the changes. It was a unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you. Call for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 11-25-2024 R1, amendments to the Uintah County Trails Master Plan.
Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, Sarah, you have Resolution 1125-2024 R2.
Yeah, so this is amendments to the Uintah County General Plan, updates to the County Resource Management Plan, Land Access Chapter. That's Chapter 12. Sorry, I got these backwards here. So that's Chapter 12 in our Resource Management Plan, and it's adding, let's see here. Adding items 12.4.28 through 12.4.34, which again we went over extensively yesterday. Again, this was noticed for a public hearing at the Planning Commission meeting this past Wednesday. And there was one comment from a representative of the state of Utah that was in support of these changes. And the Planning Commission recommended approval of these changes. Again, it was a unanimous vote on that as well. And again, these changes are just to, there was a lawsuit that a judge has made a ruling on, Kane County, down in Kane County. And so part of this is to update based on that lawsuit, because that's an important lawsuit for our RS 2477 claimed roads that are on both forest and BLM grounds. But the BLM is currently, this next year, their plan is to start travel management with the Dino North area, and then they're going to move through and hit the other areas of our county as well in the next, it looks like within the next 3 years or so. So these changes were brought to us, recommended to us by the state, as you'll recall, at our public lands meeting that we have most months. And so that's how this one came about and kind of the process that we went through on it. So,
If I recall right, some of the statements in this plan refer to basically working with the BLM, and the BLM's policy is mandated they must work with the states and the counties. Is that correct?
correct, yeah. I mean, that's one reason why we have a resource management plan, is because the federal agencies, they have to review our plans, and they have to be as consistent as they legally can, I guess. So if something in our plan is illegal under their rules, obviously they're not going to be able to follow that. But if it's legal, they should be following our plans as closely as possible, both our plan and the state resource management plan. So that's part of their policies, and that's the reason that we have these plans in place, so that it lets the federal agencies kind of know where the county stands on certain issues. Like this one's just dealing with land access, but our resource management plan has mineral extraction, energy development. I mean, there's water. There's a whole list of different issues that we put what the county policies are for public lands, and then as the federal land managers develop plans, they should be reviewing our plans and being as consistent as they can with the policies that we have.
Okay, thank you. Call for a motion?
I make a motion that we approve resolution number 11-25-2024 R2. Amendments to the Uintah County General Plan has been presented.
Any comments, concerns? Okay. Call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, passes. Okay, thank you. Okay, we just got a note from the Commissioner Horrocks. Said something came up and kept him from the meeting, so we'll excuse him today. All right, public comment time. Public comment is a time for public comment, not public debate. County will listen to comments made and take them into consideration. County will not be responding to comments or answering questions. Comments made might be something the county has the power to act on. This is a recorded meeting. If someone would like to make a comment, they will need to wait until the microphone is available. When they approach the microphone, we'd like them to state their name for the record, please. Please be respectful, no interrupting. Please wait for your turn. A total of 15 minutes will be allocated for public comment. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to make their comment. So if you have any comment, come right up, introduce yourself.
Dan Dillsaver, thank you for the opportunity to speak. In the work session yesterday, a group had asked for a language change on one item on the resolutions. Do you know if those you had agreed to make the change? Do you know if those changes were made?
I never got confirmation I was never told to make the change, so I can't just make
Okay. I'd like to ask that the commission in the future allow at least a week's grace period between when something is brought up and approved in the work session. As a citizen, it's almost impossible to gather enough information in a day to make any kind of an informed decision as to how the action that's going to be taken the next day is going to affect the community and those of us who live here. So please consider that. It would certainly be appreciated, and just move it from the next meeting to the next scheduled meeting. I realize that might be inconvenient for some things, but for other things, I think it would be appropriate to allow the public time to comment. Next question I have is if the group were to decide that this is something that we wanted to oppose, would that be done through a petition? And would that petition be from today's date, a week, calendar week, or 5 days, or how would that have to proceed?
All I can do is refer you to the referendum statutes, and then you would need to proceed from there.
Where would those on the county website?
No, it's in state code. I don't have the citation memorized. I can pull it up though and give it to you after the meeting.
Okay.
But that's the best I would be able to do at this stage.
That's all we can ask.
Yeah.
Thank you for the time.
Two things. We are looking at changing the date of our work session, possibly, this is not set, to Wednesday, and then the meeting the following Tuesday would be the meeting that we would be addressing those things.
That'd certainly be a move in the right direction.
So we felt that would be a good move. That's what we're looking at doing. And as far as the resolutions, if you're talking about the resolutions.
Time change for the work session?
Yeah, till probably 3. We were thinking if we did 3 and 3, that would be easy to remember. 3 on Tuesday, 3 on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's so difficult for an employee or an employer to make it here. So yeah, thank you for that consideration.
Oh, I had one other thing on, if you're talking about the resolutions, as far as the referendum question, resolutions, this is amendments to the resolutions, and we can make amendments at any time. So if you want to talk about amendments to the resolutions, you just come and get with us and propose what you would like to see. And then we can bring it forward if we want as a vote for the commission, if we want to amend the resolution.
That's very, very appreciated. We had, we had talked about this with the group, and so far today, you guys should have received 25, perhaps 25 plus emails for people who have concerns on this. So there is some concern in the community about what's going on. So again, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's why we had Matt address when it had been brought to the public, is we wanted you to be aware that you can go to the public notice, Utah Public Notice website. Anyone can go to that website, and you can pick what entity, what county, state, and what meetings you would like to get notified, any public meeting, and they will send you an email every time that entity has a meeting or does anything that needs to be in front of the public, so you can attend and that type of thing. So anyone who wants to get that information can go there.
Okay. You know, one of the issues we had with this was trying to find the wording of the resolutions, and that's just probably inexperience in our ability, or my ability to search. So, okay, thanks you again.
Just make sure if you go to that website, you put Uintah County in, because there's millions of, it'll give you the whole state. I made that mistake. You gotta bring that back up.
Okay.
Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Okay. You get numbered last.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Approved. We're adjourned.